Today's episode is brought to you by Factor. Factor's going to get you those good meals. Also, today we're brought to you by MeUndies. MeUndies are the undies that I have on me. Now let's jump into this podcast.
Hello, everybody. It's time for Cox and Crendor.
Cox and Crendor in the morning.
In the morning. Broadcasting live. Before our recording studio recording. Wake your ass up. It's up next Crendor in the morning.
Hello, everybody excited. Whoa, what? Hello, everybody exciting. Welcome back to show is I think what I was about to say. And that's what we're going with. I'm not changing it. Welcome to Cox and Crendor.
Hey, going how's it? I said going how's it. I said you can't even see what I'm saying. I keep getting more and more angry. Like
I said going how's it.
This is gonna be one of those days, isn't it?
What do you mean? What do you mean? Look, I goofed the intro, but I'm not redoing it.
Like Cox and Crendor is here with the you.
Welcome to the Cox and Crendor show.
They just need like a little monkey with cymbals being like, bring. That's the cherry on top.
Yeah, we do need some sort of circus fanfare for this show. Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. So really, how's it going?
This week, I discovered once again that I have super mega undiagnosed ADD, just
Yep.
to the nth degree. And I was reading this article, I think it was in Nature or Science or one of those magazines that has one name, you know what I mean?
Right. Yep.
But they post all the information in various studies. I was reading a thing about ADHD, and what they were saying was so right on the money for my entire life. I was like, oh yeah. Oh, I'm a clinical case. Like down to everything about me, I'm a clinical case. And one of the things that they talked about was pushing stuff off, and only during moments of major change do you attempt to get things done. And it hit me that the past week and a half has been entirely that for me. So I am leaving this week to go to London, right? That is a major, I'm spending a week away from my job, from my apartment, from my family, from everything.
Yeah.
And so something in my brain switched where I have been working the hardest I've ever worked. Not like working long hours, just like in the hours that I'm working, going double time. Right? Like giving extra critical critiques of things when the team's working on stuff, like making sure more stuff gets done, like really being the boss I probably should be rather than who I actually am. And I'm just trying to do that. Plus, I'm doing all these videos at once. Plus, I'm doing streaming stuff. Plus, I'm waking up very early. Plus, when I wake up early, I've exercised every single morning. I'm out the door by 8.
Mamma mia.
Now, in my mind, all this stuff makes sense to me, but it's nonsense. Let me try to explain. In my mind, I'm like, I gotta walk all over London. And because of COVID stuff, I haven't really done like a lot of long, crazy walks. The most I've done is maybe like a 2-mile walk, which isn't a lot in the walking world.
Yeah.
And I know in London, last time I was there, we were doing like 10 to 16 mile days.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's a walking city. You're walking everywhere. And so I was like, if I don't want to be a sweaty, gross, like fat mess in London, I gotta start walking. And so I am doing like running, elliptical, all that kind of stuff, trying to like stamina up. But none of that makes any sense a week and a half out. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't help. Maybe a little bit, but like in the like that's nothing. That doesn't do anything. It's not like, I don't know what I'm thinking, but my brain's like, it makes sense, bro. We got to do this. And so I am doing it every day. I'm going like 2.5, 3 miles, 4 miles on the elliptical or the treadmill. I'm like busting hump trying to do it. Does not logically, none of that is truly a help at the end of the day. It might make it easier, but is it like game changing? No. It's a week and a half. I don't know what I'm thinking. And then I'm also just like, okay, well, I got to get all this stuff done. So in the last week and a half, I've gone through every email. My emails are cleared. I've gone through like all the Discord things. That's cleared. Like it's almost as if I'm expecting to get on a plane and vanish, and I got to finish stuff before I leave.
Yeah.
It's like that kind of level of insanity where why am I doing today I looked in the fridge and I had milk there. And the milk says doesn't expire until the end of April. I get back April 4th, April 5th, one of those. The milk's going to be fine. But in my mind, I'm like, I should get rid of that milk. Do I need to buy cereal and just eat a bunch of cereal? Like that's where my head is at. That's how crazy I am in my ADHD world, where I guarantee when I come back, I'll revert to normal immediately. I'll just go back to baseline, be like, I'll work out when I feel like it. Like it'll be fun. But for some reason, when it's the same reason why I would have a paper due and wait until the night before. And then I would go so hard the night before and I would be like a researching mastermind and, just like see the matrix code and the numbers in front of my face. But the weeks I had leading up to that, no, I was like, I was in Warcraft or something. It's the same thing now. It's crazy. I have not changed my entire life. This is who I've been. And I just have moments of, all right, let's roll. And I'm ready to go.
I'd say procrastination is like an ADHD thing. But I mean, you don't have to have ADHD to procrastinate. But it can still be a symptom of it. Because I mean, like, I don't really have ADHD, but I still will wait till the last minute to do a lot of things.
But when you wait to the last minute, do you work on it like a normal person? Or do you devote your entire being to it?
No, I don't do that. But that's probably more like a hyper-focused thing.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, and that's the ADHD thing where I'm just like, and now it begins, my watch. And I just go as hard as there's, again, sure, you know what? Jesse working out every day in the morning, that's swell. That's very nice. But is it necessarily going to change anything at the moment? No. Is it if I keep it up for, 6 months? Hell yeah. But I'm letting you know, the minute I get back, I'll be like, yeah, I'm sleeping in today. I just know it. I know what's going to happen. I know who I am.
And then once you get to England, you'll be fine. Well, actually, what about if you just get to the airport, you'll be fine.
Oh, I mean, I'm already, because I leave tomorrow, I'm already in sort of a F it state. You know what I mean? I'm going to get to the airport. I'll be chill. I'll get on the plane. I'll be chill. I'll land. I'll spend a week in London and be super chill. I'll come back and be like, I'm going to sleep in today. I just know what's about to happen. It's crazy every single time. Every time I travel for long periods of time, the week before, I'm like, let's go. And I'm in like hardcore work mode. I could have been in hardcore work mode the entire time and prevented me having to go hardcore work mode the week before I leave. No. I'm like relaxed, chill Jesse most of the time. And then there's a moment where I'm like, all right, let's go. I have no idea. It's very bizarre.
I think there's like the importance scale where it's like something gets more and more important the closer it is to the deadline. And then like once it's about to hit, like I can't put it off anymore. And that's when you have to like go crazy on it.
I guess it feels like one of those things where I desperately don't want to think about stuff until it's too late. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's probably the story of my life where I'm like, I don't want to deal with that right now. I'll deal with that later. And then it's like, bro, it's later. It's later now. And I'm like, oh, damn, I really should have thought about this. And then I kick it into high gear. And really, I could have just been high gear the entire time and gotten stuff done.
Yeah. No, I see that. It's, and I think that's really a lot of, I mean, you can see it with people with like taxes, people with like any type of deadline. They're just like, it's almost, we got to do this shit now.
Yeah, this self-reflection thing makes me feel like a mess. We should move on.
Here's the thing. I've got stories.
You know what? So I have one story.
All right, you do your story first.
Okay, all right. So I went to, shout out to El Pollo Loco. It's lovely. Great chicken. It was, I don't know, I'm going to say 7 or 8. It was dark, right? And we're not quite in summer yet, so it wasn't, LA summer where it's still light out till like 10 p.m. And so I'm sitting there in the drive-thru and there's a car in front of me. And there's a bunch of palm tree things lining one side of the drive-thru. And behind it, I see something move. like I see, I don't know, it looked like a cryptid. It looked like some creature go like scatter across the between the palms. And I was like, what the hell was that? And I started to get worried because I was like, is that going to be someone who's going to pop out and like try to get me while I'm getting the drive-through food, or what the hell was that? And I keep looking at it, and there's clearly something there, but dude, I'm telling you, it's like skittering, like skittering back. And I was like, is it an animal? What the hell is that? And then I see behind the palm trees these things that look like big eyes, like alien-looking eyes, dude. And so I got a little concerned. I'm not going to lie. I was a little worried that I didn't know what this was. And it was very weird looking. And the car in front of me pulls up, and they pull up like out of the drive-thru very, very slowly. And I couldn't tell if they saw the thing too, or if they were just checking their food before they drove off. But it wasn't like, oh, I'm checking my food, so I stopped for a sec. It was straight up just very slowly driving away. And then they slammed on their brakes and very slowly kept going. I was like, all right, maybe this person's just really bad at driving. I don't know what's going on, but I got a little worried. Maybe they saw this thing too. Maybe there was something they saw and it was worrying and they didn't want to turn, because the way the drive-thru works is you wrap around the building and then there's a very hard turn to the right. You can't go left because it's an alleyway that's one way, right? So you have to take a hard turn right out into the street. And whatever this thing was on the right with the palm trees hiding there. And I was like, oh no. Oh, this is bad. So I drove up and I looked at the guy who was, taking my credit card, and he like paused and he looked across. And he's like, sorry, I thought I saw something. And so now I'm like, oh, hell no. There is a creature in the palm trees watching us. And the guy was like, all right, here's your car. Let me get your food. So he, closes the drive-through window. And now I'm sitting there with one window open thinking, oh, okay, some creature's going to jump in here and get my ass. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like
calling Coast to Coast AM.
I was like, I don't know if I should be worried or if I'm just, I didn't know what to think, right? And I get my food and I roll up my window and I start to pull off, and right there, like crouched down, I'm going to say it was a guy, I think.
Oh, God.
But he had long, matted hair that kind of went all over his body. He was wearing robes, like 5 robes, and he had giant swimmer's goggles on. And he was crouched down, and he was like picking through a garbage can, and he like popped his head up, and he looked like a frog man. Do you remember the movie, the first X-Men movie where it had Toad, and Toad like had that tongue lick thing? Dude did the tongue lick thing. He was like a frog man digging through garbage. And he like went, and then I'm telling you, hopped down the street. Just looked at me, saw me, hopped away, dude. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. I was like, what the? No one's gonna believe this. No, I was like, no one's gonna believe this. I gotta say this for Crendor. I can't tell any. No one's gonna believe this.
I believe it.
Dude, the craziest thing is that street isn't like an alley or anything. The street that he was hopping down is a residential street. This dude was hopping towards houses.
Maybe you live there.
Yeah, I was about to say, in my mind, he just went home. It was like, Frogman must leave. It was so crazy.
That is the most Los Angeles thing I can really imagine.
He stuck his tongue out. He went.
Are you sure? Are you sure this wasn't some sort of frog cryptid?
It could be. The thing is he had hair that was like, like that matted, I haven't washed it in years hair.
Right.
He had that going all the way down his body, but then he had robes what looked like 3 robes tied up around him, and then like giant ass goggles on.
How do you think?
And then he just like hopped away. The man hopped away.
So I've got more questions.
Not
Number
fast. Like for those wondering, he didn't like leap. He just kind of like
It wasn't like
I
an
don't know,
actual
two-
X-Man.
Yeah, it was kind of like a skip, but with both feet. It was so weird.
Yeah, I can picture it. Kind of like Gollum, but slower.
Yes. Yes.
So, first, he didn't say words, right? He just did the tongue lick.
Said nothing. I think he was sneaking through the palm trees to get to the trash can that had, I would assume, the leftovers from the restaurant. I don't know what was in there. I have no clue whose trash can it was. So I think he went through, which is why I saw him in the palm trees, because it was those, low to the ground palm ferns or whatever they are. And so I guess that's what he was doing. And maybe the person in front of me didn't want to hit him because he was trying to cross.
Right.
But I honestly do not know.
Huh.
But he said nothing. He didn't say a thing. He just like, his head, I swear to you, his head popped up like a startled deer and he went like, and then hopped away.
So like he wasn't like 2-leg walking. He was all 4s.
No, he wasn't like on all 4s. It was, when you were a kid, you do that like frog hop.
Oh yeah, I know. I got you now.
Kind of like that, but less trying. Like when you're a kid, you try to be like a frog. This dude just kind of like hopped his way away.
He might have been hopping for years. He's worn down.
His knees aren't what they used to be.
Yeah, I feel that. I relate to Frog Man. My other question. The robes.
Yes.
Do you think he's somehow like earned these robes? Like in some sort of like, frog hierarchy?
I'm going to let you know, if you living on the street like a frog, you've earned those robes.
Like there could be some secret underground frog society we don't know about. And he's a rank 3 robe wearing frog man. He's in like the upper echelon.
He did have at least 3 robes on, so he could be a rank 3 frog man. Yeah. I don't know. I have no I am what weirded me out is I couldn't tell you whether he had pants on or not.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you.
It was nighttime, right?
It was nighttime. There wasn't a lot of light in the area. I knew he had robes on because the light that I did have from my car, I could see the robes on, but I couldn't tell if he had pants or shoes on. I didn't look down. So yeah, I have no clue. I don't know. It's worrisome. He was in robes, but it wouldn't have been the first naked guy I've seen in LA, so
That's true.
I've seen, you know what? You drive around LA enough, you're gonna see some naked dudes. It's just a thing.
It's just what it is. That's the city of Los Angeles.
Strangely enough, no naked women, just all naked dudes. It's a thing, I guess.
Yeah. I imagine he doesn't wear shoes. Like he's just built up calluses.
There was a brief moment where I was like, I'm gonna have to talk about this on Chilluminati. I think I saw something. No, it was just LA.
Yeah. No, this is. Plus, I feel like on Chilluminati, people would be like, he definitely did see a frog man. We can try and pinpoint where he's from.
Maybe that's what I need. Maybe I need to see a frog man just to change my life around.
Maybe
like,
you
hey,
do,
if the frog man can live his life, I can live mine.
Frogman doesn't procrastinate. He knows what he wants. He goes out and he gets it. Right?
I almost spit out my water. Frogman doesn't procrastinate. It's my favorite sentence, and that is absolutely the title of this episode. I'm making a note now. Frogman doesn't procrastinate.
Like he's just running off instincts.
Yeah. But here's the thing. I don't think Frogman has to run a business. I don't think Frogman does a lot of I feel like Frogman's life is as simple as life should really be.
I don't know. We still don't know about the robes.
We don't. I don't.
Like, who knows how he earned those robes? It may seem simple, but it may not have been simple.
But however he earned those robes, he did it the Frogman way. And that's what we should take away from this.
Yeah.
Because Frogman doesn't procrastinate.
Yeah. Those robes are badges of honor.
It's like the Boy Scouts, but for frogs.
Exactly.
Frogmen, my bad. Frogmen.
Yeah. You think they have like derby cars? Like the racing?
Yeah, they have to craft them out of the bones of a chicken restaurant. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've got some stories.
Yes. I can't wait to hear these.
They aren't as crazy, but they are normal crazy person stories.
Well, we got plenty of those.
Yep. So the first one is a very basic one. All right. I was at Target, and there was like 4 self-checkouts, right? And all
When
of them
you
were
say
taken.
basic crazy story, I was at Target, that's really all we need to say.
Yeah.
I was at Target, go on.
So I was at one of the self-checkouts. There's other people at the other self-checkouts. They were all full, right? 4 self-checkouts, all being used. And this lady walks up to wait. And you would think you'd be like, oh, that's fine. You know, I'm up next, right? She goes, there's no registers open. And the person working the self-checkout is just like, not at the moment. And she says, that's awful. And the person working at Target goes, it is. And that was it. I almost burst out laughing.
Do you ever get the feeling that a lot of people are just lonely and they got no one to talk to, and so they just want to talk to strangers in the hopes they'll have some communication with anyone, especially older people? And I know I'm probably going to get shit for saying this, but I'm going to say it anyway because it's my experience. There's 2 categories. Like, there's old men and old women. And old men have one way of trying to strike up a conversation, and old women have another way of trying to do it. And I always feel like the old women start with a complaint or start with something that they're aggravated about, while the old men just say a random thing. Like, old men will say, oh, what crazy weather we're having, and expect you to respond. Well, old women will notice a thing that's happening around them and comment on it snarkily, waiting for you to be like, I agree. Never have I ever met an older woman who's like, crazy weather, huh? It's not a thing that happens.
I actually have. I've seen a few of those.
Really? Or never? It's
Yeah.
never happened.
Maybe it's just
never.
an LA thing. Maybe you're just
And maybe
too-
it's just like a me thing. Maybe old women are threatened by me.
That's true. I feel like everybody's threatened by you, except frogmen and like people on that highway that you always have stuff happen on.
Yeah. And the guys who ask me for money at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Other than that, everyone else is threatened.
Yeah. It's like I've been in line and there's always like an old woman. She's just like, I'm going to buy this candy bar. And I'm like, oh, that's a good plan. She's like, my grandson loves candy. Like, I've had that happen, you know.
Never.
They might be lonely.
I've only ever had older men be like, what a crazy day it is out there. I'm like, oh, yeah? Like, yeah, I almost got in a car wreck, damn kids. And I'm like, oh, yeah, it's like that in LA sometimes. Meanwhile, no women ever talk like that. They're always just like, all I wanted was pickles, and they didn't have the right pickles. And now I have to buy these pickles. And I'm like, are you talking to me? I don't know what's going on right now.
That's I think that's common, but it's also more prevalent in LA. Because in LA, everyone's entitled because they're there because they're like, yeah, I'm kind of a big deal. I'm in Los Angeles. I wrote for, you know, some random ass movie nobody watched, and now they're not relevant because that movie didn't take off. They're still in LA, and they've just grown up and they're bitter.
I guess. I don't.
Either way, I think this person was they were just impatient. That's all it was.
Sure.
It's like you can't just wait like 1 minute maximum for someone to like check out. That's it. However, there are some people that take 10 years at the self-checkout. Like, my God. It's like I like go up, I scan the thing, I put it in the bag, I pay, I'm gone. There's some people that are just like, how do I scan this item? Where's my wallet? I don't even, let me look back here. Did I scan? And it's like, I was literally like 5 spots behind them in line, and now I'm like leaving, and they're still checking out.
Yeah, I feel like in that case, you should just let someone else do that for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a reason why checkout lanes exist.
Yeah. Like, at that point, you're better off, go into like the normal checkout. Unless they don't got it. Usually they got at least a couple of those open.
I think probably it's about, it's the same thing when you see a dude who's like 95 and he's still driving. He's like, I
Yeah.
want my independence. It's like, yeah, but you're going 6 miles an hour. Like, look, I get it. I understand. Me too, buddy. But at a certain point, you got to be like, all right, maybe I'm walking there, or I'm taking someone else is driving me. Like I'm taking a taxi or a bus or something. Like, I get it. But maybe let someone check you out instead of you do. I don't trust them. They rip me off and charge me. Like, okay, well, don't know what to tell you about that.
There's some people you're never gonna please them. This is just what it is.
It is. It is.
Anyway, that was story number 1.
Okay.
That was just funny. If anything, I like laughed at it. I was just like, especially the way the Target employee like reacted to it. She was just like, "Yep, sure, sure is."
This is absolutely true. Everyone I know who's ever worked at Target, they always have a story about someone who complains about the Target to them, and they just go like, "Look, yeah, no, I agree, and I work here." Like that's like everyone working at Target. I feel like Walmart's the same thing. Where you're like, "Yeah, no, you're not wrong." But look, this is just my job. I don't care.
That's reminded me. One time I was like, I don't even remember what I was buying at Target. And this old woman came up and she was like, "Do you work here?" And I was like, "No." And I was wearing like a green shirt and sweatpants, like the opposite colors of what Target even wears.
I love that you were wearing a green shirt and sweatpants, and she was like, "That looks like a guy who could help."
That's a Target employee. 100%. Yeah, I don't know her thought process, but I was just like, no. And she's like, "Oh, sorry." All right. So next up, we're at brunch. All right. We're at brunch and, we're just eating. Everybody around's doing their thing. And this table behind us, this guy kept getting louder and louder. And we didn't know what they were talking about. I think it was like a brother and a sister. They're probably like in their 40s, 50s.
Okay.
And
question. Why do you think they were brother, sister, and not together?
they just had that vibe. And also, from what he mentioned.
Oh, okay. All right.
So, and another somebody in the last episode, 2 episodes, they're just like, Jesse and Crendor sure are nosy. Listen, I'm not like sitting there with binoculars. All right, if somebody's just being loud, I'm not gonna be like, boy, I don't hear anything. Like, I'm gonna listen.
Yeah, we're not actively snooping. That's not what we're doing.
I'm just observing my surroundings.
Exactly. We put ourselves in a place where we let the craziness come to us, and we don't instigate it. We're not searching for it. We just know that if you look, things will happen. If you're just observant, you will see the craziest stuff.
Listen, my entire body's like falling apart. Let me have this. Okay? Please. So he says, this was the only thing I could really like make out. He says, "What's he do but text once a year to change dad's tire in front of a church?"
That is brother-sister talk. Yeah.
And then she just looked. Then that was like the last thing they said before they left. And then they got up and left, and she just looked very like done with him and uncomfortable, and they just walked out. And I was just like, what the shit?
Do you think they're talking about a third sibling?
I think they were, yeah.
Like the one who doesn't give like any attention to the family?
I think so. And I think either she might like their other sibling and he doesn't like that sibling. That was kind of the vibe I got. And so
it definitely has the vibe of I'm here for dad and he's not here for dad, so how dare he kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. And so I was just like, damn. But then I was like breaking down. I was just like, I mean, so he's texting once a year to change their dad's tire in front of a church. So that's like a thing in itself.
There's a lot going on there, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, is he with the dad at church? Is his dad like, come to church? And he's like, nah, but once a year he's like, all right, I'll go. And then they go and he's got to change the tire there.
I'd like to imagine they meet on neutral ground, right? Like,
yep.
All right, I'm going to change your tires. Okay, well, I'll only let you change them at the church. All right, Dad.
It's the only time I'll meet him up anywhere.
Yeah, I feel like maybe, what if this third sibling is like really into goth gear and stuff?
Oh, maybe.
He's like the black sheep. And the whole family doesn't like him, but, he's very good with tires. And so the dad's
He's a mechanic.
like, yeah. Like, you're going to change my tires. I want you to do it at church. He's like, okay. So while dad's in church, he's outside changing the tires.
He listens to that rock and roll. Doesn't listen to Jesus.
Yeah, I got to give him some residual Jesus. Jesus through osmosis. He'll be close to the church and maybe some will rub off on him.
And then everyone else around was just, doing their thing.
Well, of course. That's it.
So that was story number 2. Story number 3.
Oh, boy.
This could have been like an LA thing. So
This man looked like a frog.
So this man looked like a frog. He was hopping around. So I go to the post office. I have to drop off a check. So I got to mail it. And I'm like, all right, you just go in and out. That's it. But I go in and there's a line to literally like mail your stuff. So I'm like, all right, great. So it's like, I don't know, it's like 4 p.m. and everyone's going in at the last minute to send their shit. And so, it's moving fast, but there's this guy, how like off to the side, they like areas you like wrap your shit or like send it and there's like P.O. boxes, whatever.
I do know that, except in LA, they don't. Someone will go up to the front with a box. The person there will be like, all right, so take this pen, go fill out this stuff. And rather than move, they'll just stand there and not move. And even though the person at the counter is like, if you could just move off to the side, like, no, I'll be just a minute. And you're like, we're waiting. If you move off to the side, we can get our stuff. All I'm here is to pick up a package. If you could just, they're like, hold on. I'm almost done. And then people get into fights. No one listens. LA's a mess. Anyway, please continue.
So this guy, he's got his phone like in his shoulder. He's like crunched up with his phone in his shoulder. And he's like wrapping this box with tape. I don't know what he's just like got tape. He's just like, and he's like, like the loudest person in the entire post office. Like you can hear him over everything. And he goes, yeah, Jonathan stole my idea. Anything for attention, am I right? Yeah, he's got money, bro. Yeah, he can buy all that stuff, Like, what do you know about Julius? Yeah, listen, I'm gonna get more followers anyway from this. And that's what he said.
Oh, I hate it.
And then I mailed my letter and I left and I was like, what the shit? I don't know what's going on. So like, he's wrapping his
exact
box.
same vibe as when a person on the phone goes, right, and it only cost me $100,000. It was super cheap. And you're like, what? Shut up.
So it was just the fact that like his idea's getting stolen because his friends got more money to buy the things to execute the idea. But then I guess maybe it's Julius or Julius has worked with the guy, but it doesn't matter because whatever they're currently doing, he's going to get more followers from.
This sounds like an LA conversation.
Yeah.
Like just the idea of someone being able to do something that you can't because they have more money absolutely is the thing. But the fact that he then was like, it's follower based. So this was all about social media cred is gross. Just the grossest thing.
Yeah. So I don't even, and he didn't look like a TikToker. He didn't look like an Instagram. He didn't look like anything. He just looked like a dude. So I was like, I don't know what he does.
I mean, if people saw us, I don't think they'd think that we did
That's
anything
true.
creative at all.
Yeah. They probably see me. This guy's probably a frog man.
Yeah. They see me and they're like, this guy's definitely going to give me $5 at the grocery store. Yeah.
This guy definitely procrastinates.
No Unlike doubt. Frogmen, who we know do not.
So, yeah, I still don't know. Maybe one day he'll pop up on my social media. You know how sometimes you talk about like peanut butter and it pops up on an ad on your phone? Maybe that'll happen. Maybe his channel will pop up. That'd be fun.
Maybe. I would love to know. If you ever find this guy, you got to let us know.
Yeah. So
I can't imagine the videos of him and Julius, but I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
Do you think there's like he and Julius do another Cox and Crendor like show out there and we just are unaware?
It's possible. Like maybe that's their podcast. Him and Julius in the morning. So yeah, that was my week. I didn't see any frog people, but I just saw normal people. doing their
It's equally fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a frog person to be entertaining.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the moral here.
But you know what is entertaining?
Me undies.
Whoa.
I don't know where this is going.
It
That's
sounded better
right.
in my head.
They're so entertaining when you show them off to friends. Nope, that seems weird. Don't do that. MeUndies are all about quality. It's a quality not only you can see, but you can feel right on your butt cheeks. MeUndies are so comfortable. It's like a sweet, sweet cloud caressing your tush. And now, MeUndies is available not only on the MeUndies website, but Amazon and in Nordstrom stores across the United States. So you have choice now, as well as convenience. MeUndies is offering you right now 25% off plus free shipping, so you don't have to go to Amazon or Nordstrom. You can go directly to the source. I have used MeUndies for too long. I don't know how long now.
I have an entire drawer. It's just filled with MeUndies. Like I gotta start like swapping them out.
Same thing. I have so many of them, and I've forgotten how long I've had them, but I've had them so long that some of my oldest ones are like, bro, let us die. Let us relax. Like, no,
But
you're
I
still
like
good.
the
You're still
cactuses.
gonna work.
I can't let the cactuses leave.
Yeah, they've got smiley faces. It's
Yeah.
almost like they're alive. And now shopping for MeUndies is even easier. Like I said, you can go to store locations, check them out. You can go to Amazon. You can see them in the women's and men's basics, change up your underwear game. But as always, MeUndies and their website is the best way to explore all they have to offer and all their different sizes from extra small to 4XL. They got undies for men and women. They got joggers, socks, bralettes, sweats, shirts. They got it all. And all of it is that amazing super micro modal, whatever the hell that is. If you want to check it out yourself and join the numerous friends we have who have jumped on this train, go to MeUndies. And if you like them, you can get their MeUndies membership, save 30% off all your different purchases, get a ton of other perks, early access, etc. But if you just want to try it right now, 25% off your first order, free standard shipping. Head over to MeUndies.com/Crendor.
That's me.
Again, if you're not 100% satisfied, it's on them. They will take care of you. They got you. MeUndies.com/Crendor. Also, today we're brought to you by Factor. Factor is ready to power up your springtime with America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit. Get nutritious, chef-prepared meals delivered straight to your door, leaving you time and energy to tackle all the things on your about-to-go-to-London to-do list. Look and feel your best in time for warmer weather with calorie-smart meals that are like 550 calories or less. If you're too busy to cook, Factor's perfect. You get that good-for-you, smart calorie meal, never frozen, ready in 2 minutes. All you do is heat and enjoy. Plus, they have other options like keto, vegan and veggie, calorie smart, like I mentioned, protein plus. You can get all sorts of great stuff prepared by chefs and approved by dietitians. Each meal has all the ingredients you need to be satisfied all day long. 34 chef-prepared meals approved by those dietitians are available for you weekly, so you can always try something new. You can switch it up, and you can also add breakfast options like egg bites and smoothies and more. Plus, they've got 45-ish snacks you can add on. It's amazing. This will help you cut back on takeout. This will help you get rid of those apps you have on your phone left over from COVID. You can eat better. You can eat fresh. It really is just the simplest and easiest way to get flavor-packed meals delivered right to you, ready in 2 minutes. No prep, no mess. It's awesome. All you got to do is head to factormeals.com/Cox50 and use code COX50 to get 50% off your first box. The code is COX50, COX50, at factormeals.com/Cox50 to get that 50% off your first box. All right, let's go to chapter 7 of the Crendor. Crendor, how's that traffic out there?
Oh boy, traffic up here. It's looking pretty packed actually. Everybody's going all over. There's conventions happening. There's people traveling to the UK tomorrow. There's a whole bunch of stuff happening. Spring break, people traveling for spring break. So a whole lot of action going on. Also from last week, I saw in the comments an Irish guy said, quote, Irish guy here. That's how I knew he was an Irish guy. Born and bred for Paddy's Day, not Patty's Day or whatever monstrous terms you use. Every town and city usually has a parade, mostly schools and local businesses advertising themselves. Blah, 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 blah. They got a whole bunch of those leprechaun hats going around. I'm going to talk about the rest of this while I'm not in the chapter. Back to you.
Time out. Do they still get very drunk in public and dye their rivers green and have whirly gizmos on their heads and stuff? Or is it just, I put a green hat on?
Usually has a parade. Biggest one's in Dublin. Nothing on the scale of the American ones. We don't need to wear green. That's a very American thing. Yep. Though many decorations and parade things will be green. There are daft leprechaun hats going around. Most people dislike them. After the parade, you usually go to your local, or if you don't have a local, you end up wandering around looking for somewhere that looks like a good time is happening. Group chats light up across the country as everyone tries to pinpoint where their mates are. Pictures of the first pint of the day are common. It's a bank holiday, so some businesses are closed, mostly just pubs, shops, restaurants, and any place involved with inebriated revelry left open. Some people drink all day, some people go home, drink at home, go out for the night, while others will risk losing their deposit and have a house party in rented accommodation. One thing's for sure, there's a lot of drinking, and it's the busiest night of the year for most pubs, restaurants, and off licenses.
Okay, so it's like the U.S., except here we just dress up like idiots, is what you're saying.
Yeah, here we're just wearing green. We dress up. We're like, woo! Over there, they just drink.
Right. Pretty much I feel like a lot of the things we do in the U.S. is for show. Every time we have a festival or a parade or a holiday, it's all about the show of it.
It's very much like, look at me.
Yeah, it's less about the day and more about me, which is a very American thing. Like, if it's July 4th, it's not about the founding of a nation and the revolution. It's about, I wore an American flag shirt. Look at me, I set fireworks off in my butt, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Although there still might be one if they get drunk enough.
Yeah, I mean, but they wouldn't, in Dublin, for instance, I don't think they'd be like, everyone, I'm wearing a green shirt. Don't pinch me,
Yeah. So there you go. Traffic.
All right, let's go to weather.
Woo, weather. All right, here we go. Weather time. We've got Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, my hometown and home of the Big Mac guy.
Whoa. Fond du Lac?
Fond du
Wisconsin.
Lac.
Like fondue, as in cheese fondue?
Like
Lac?
FOND space DU space LAC. I figured it seemed like a fun one. We've been going overseas for a lot of these. Might as well bring it back to America for one.
Hell yeah. Also, I'm very curious about, I don't know, this seems like native. This doesn't, Fond du Lac, at first I was like, is that French? But no, this seems like a native thing.
It probably is. There's a lot of places around here with like Native American names.
Absolutely it is. It means where the current is blocked.
Oh, interesting. That would explain why it's by water as well.
All right, yeah, okay.
It's right by Lake Winnebago.
And this is, I love that. Lake Winnebago, that's a great name. I assume that's what the Winnebago's named after, question mark?
I don't know, maybe.
So it's between Milwaukee and Green Bay, and this is where the Big Mac guy, the guy who ate like a bajillion Big Macs, is from?
Yes. And
our favorite guy who's somehow still like just kicking, doing his thing.
Don Gorski.
Yeah.
He is, as of last year, he's eaten a Big Mac every day for 50 years.
out of control.
That is actually insane. He's got an Instagram, and he doesn't post on it.
Well, of course not.
Yeah, of course not.
He's got shit. That man's got shit to do.
Hold on. Is he still going? Let's see. Don Gorski. Doesn't seem like there's any news as of late. Oh, wait. Never mind. 2 weeks ago, looks like he's still eating Big Macs. Still going.
Amazing.
In
Bless
Fond du
his sweet
Lac,
soul.
it is 41 degrees Fahrenheit. Currently feels like 36. 6-mile-an-hour winds, 51% humidity, 29.99 inches of pressure, 9 miles visibility, UV index 0 of 10, dew point 24, 6:46 a.m. sunrise, 7:13 p.m. sunset, and a moon phase of waxing crescent. Going to the 10-day. Tonight, periods of rain and freezing rain becoming partly cloudy. 25 degrees. Monday, 40, partly cloudy. Tuesday, 44, partly cloudy. Wednesday, 33 with some AM snow showers. Thursday, you got your PM rain, snow. Friday, 43 with thunderstorms. Saturday, 37, partly cloudy. And Sunday, 47, partly cloudy.
You know how when we look at cities, we often look at the food and the restaurant choices?
Yeah.
And we're always just blown away, like, oh, this little small town in the middle of nowhere has a Michelin star restaurant, and oh my God, I can't believe that this island has these beautiful looking restaurants. Oh, we're in the middle of a desert, and this, oh wow, it's so beautiful. Here, every restaurant looks like it is stuck in 1976. And every restaurant is named like Connie's, or Ang and Eddie's, or the Bullpen, or Ramjets, or Friar Tuck's.
I see a lot of bar and grills.
Everything's a bar and grill. And everything looks like the chairs have been there for 45 years. The floors are covered with who knows what. The food, like, it just looks, it all looks like bar food, even if it's not a bar.
Yeah.
Everything looks like bar food. I mean, I'd eat there because, you know me, I'm not fancy, but like,
yeah,
everything is fries, layers of gooey cheese, fried food, sandwiches that look like it's just like lunch meat sandwich they put together.
Well, Wisconsin, you got your three staples. You got cheese, you got brats, and you got beer. All right? Those are like, that's the trifecta. If you're going to have a restaurant, you got to have those three things.
I'm going to cut these and save them all and send all three to you at once. Because I want you to take a look at something. Because I'm convinced that in the end, all these restaurants are one continuous restaurant.
All right.
I'm trying to, oh my goodness. Ooh, Frenchie's Tavern. Yep. That they have.
Oh, I gotta send you something too. All right, here we go.
Frenchie's Tavern has the outdoor decor of your local park. So that's pretty good.
There, look at that one. That's your favorite.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna include this. I'm including this. All right, the one you just, so take the one you just sent me.
All right.
And I'm gonna send you these two other locations.
Okay.
Tell me all three are not the same restaurant. Everything is every restaurant has the exact same decor of just like, we're trying, dog. We're trying.
They are old. Both the clientele and the building. That is a lot of deep fried stuff there. Let's see, what about this one? Okay, this one's got steak. This one's a little higher class. It's got steak. But that's also...
Sure.
Okay, yeah, I know. Okay, hold on. This is my favorite. This is the most like Wisconsin. You've got a birthday cake, a glass of something, and a Pabst Blue Ribbon.
That is so Midwestern, it's gross. Hold on, we have to describe this image to people because this is... All right. Just, if you're driving, don't close your eyes. But everyone else, close your eyes and try to imagine this, unless you're like me and you can't. Just deal with it. All right.
Yep.
From right to left in this image is a Pabst Blue Ribbon, and behind it, several candles from a birthday cake that have been put out.
Yeah.
And then next to that, kind of off to the right, is, I assume, a pitcher of water or like a bar glass of water. And behind that, a candle in one of those candle holders from like 1954. Then
And then a bunch of butter packets.
yeah, so many butter packets. And then what appears to be whiskey or maybe a rum and coke is sitting next to the Pabst Blue Ribbon. And then behind that is another drink that looks like a Pabst Blue Ribbon, along with someone's arm. And then in the center is this birthday cake that is neon pink with a little tiara on it. And I think I've been to this birthday party. When I lived in Ohio, this was pretty much every birthday party.
That's something.
What's crazy, though, is when you look at the steakhouse, for example, you mentioned, I remember why I love the Midwest so much. That is a big, delicious-looking steak with a great-looking baked potato. I know I would devour. Like, that's the thing. If you're in the Midwest, you're getting good steak and potato. That's just the thing you're going to get that's good.
That is very true. Probably some French onion soup in there.
Yeah. I'm not looking for like a delicacy. I'm looking for like salt of the earth food. And they got that. Admittedly, they got that. But everything looks like a restaurant you'd see on Kitchen Nightmares.
Right. Now, the one I sent you is Salty's Seafood and Spirits.
Yep,
It has a shark crashing through the wall.
Love that.
And I always found it weird if there's like seafood places that do steak, but I guess there's like surf and turf.
Sure.
But it still feels weird to get a steak at a seafood place. I don't know.
But is it a real seafood place if it's in Wisconsin?
Yeah.
I'm blown away by this. So I'm looking at Salty Seafood, and the first image is, again, steak, potatoes, but then also a piece of unidentified meat. Is that bacon? I don't know what that is. Is that ham?
I don't know what that is.
But also Salty Seafood. Their decor is like you're at a themed restaurant in Disney.
It's very like early 2000s, late 90s.
Yeah.
Like a Rainforest Cafe.
It does have a Rainforest Cafe vibe. Yeah.
But I kind of like that. Did you see the sign? I sent you the sign.
Oh,
that
yeah.
Is,
Looking
that
at
kind of
Salty.
looks like me as a sailor.
Yeah, you would do great at Salties. They'd be like, the owner's here.
They think I'm a frog.
Yeah, but all the drinks are, I'm looking at one drink and it's purple, but it's got a pineapple in it, so I'd probably enjoy the hell out of that.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder if this is on the water or I don't know.
Schmitty's. I see Schmitty's on the water and Salty's is near the water.
Schmitty's Bar and Grill. Yeah, I see that.
So there you go. That's the weather.
That's the weather. All right, let's go to sports.
Sports. Welcome to sports. So we've got a lot of stuff happening with sports. March Madness has been happening. If you check out the men's bracket right now, we've got the final. Let's see who's going here. Is it the final four? I think it is. We got UConn, FAU, Miami, and San Diego State, which it is San Diego State versus FAU. So literally a 9 and a 5 seed, and then Miami and UConn, a 5 and a 4 seed. So none of the 1, 2, or 3 seeds made it, which is pretty nutty. And then over in the women's bracket, South Carolina's playing Maryland. That's a 1 and a 2. Miami's playing LSU. That's a 9 and a 3. Virginia Tech, Ohio State. That's a 1 and a 3. And then Louisville, Iowa's a 5 and a 2. So they're a bit more higher seeds. The men one is a little crazy.
Damn.
But it's why they call it the madness. Then we got the NBA, got the Bucks, Celtics, 76ers all clinching playoff spots in the 1, 2, 3. Got the Cavs right behind, then the Knicks, the Nets, and then the play-ins currently Heat, Hawks, Raptors, Bulls. In the West, you got the Nuggets, Grizzlies in, Kings, Suns, Clippers, Warriors, and then the play-ins looking like Pelicans, Timberwolves, Lakers, Thunder. Although the Mavericks half a game back and the Jazz 1 game back, trying to get that. Then in hockey, also closing in on playoffs, you got the Bruins in first still, Maple Leafs in second, then you got the Hurricanes and the Devils clinching, the Rangers right behind, and in the West, you got the Wild, the Avalanche, and the Stars all battling for first, and then you got the Golden Knights and the Kings and the Oilers also there. And I think the Seattle Kraken are actually in a spot right now to make a playoff berth. So that's pretty neat.
Damn.
Look at that. After only 1 year in the league. So, neat. And that is sports.
Okay. What is our fact of the day?
Fact of the day. Someone tried to sell New Zealand on eBay.
I was about to say, when was this? But I guess if it's on eBay, it has to be recent. So, all right, yeah, let's go.
Some odd things have been sold on eBay, from a grilled cheese sandwich with the face of the Virgin Mary to Justin Timberlake's half-eaten French toast. But one of the strangest listings ever had to be for the country of New Zealand. A man from Brisbane, Australia, tried to sell New Zealand in 2006 on eBay. The listing described the country as the dodgiest American Cup win ever and said it has very ordinary weather. Despite those selling points, the ridiculous auction gained a ton of interest. Starting bid was 1 cent, and after 6,000 hits and 22 bids, the selling price for New Zealand climbed all the way up to $3,000. Eventually, eBay caught wind of the auction and pulled it from its site. Quote, "Clearly New Zealand is not for sale," a eBay Australia spokesperson said at the time.
I love that they're just like, guys, we shouldn't have to say this. It's not for sale.
Oh, jeez. So yeah, it's your fact of the day.
All right. What is our big news story of the day?
Big news story of the day is escape artist Missouri bear heads to Texas zoo with moat.
What?
Here's the bear.
All right. Go on.
Here he is.
I must ask, just the
Yeah.
world in general, why do I look like every bear? When you look into a bear's eyes, I just see myself. I'm like, oh my God, this guy's going through it just like me. I look
He really
at him.
is.
He's in the water and he's like, oh God, another day of this bullshit.
Let's see what he did. An escape artist bear from Missouri is headed to a Texas zoo with a moat in hopes that it will put an end to his wandering.
He'll stop him because he keeps getting out. I love this guy.
The St. Louis Zoo cited the specific and unique personality of the Andean bear named Ben in announcing the move Tuesday. His soon-to-be home at the Gladys Porter Zoo near South Padre Island in Brownsville, Texas, has a long history of working with Andean bears, but it's still adding some extra security. "We're confident it's going to be good for Ben," said Walter Dupree, the Texas Zoo's curator of mammals. Ben gained notoriety in February by busting out of his habitat twice. The first time, the 4-year-old 280-pound bear tore apart clips that attached stainless steel mesh to the frame of a door, but he was recaptured before the zoo opened for the day. Zoo workers then added zip tie-like attachments made of stainless steel that had 450 pounds of tensile strength.
Damn.
But Ben managed to escape through those about 2 weeks later.
My bear.
This is the Houdini bear. The zoo,
I mean, we had Hank the Tank was fitting through doors. You know what I mean? Like
That's
pet
true.
doors.
The zoo was open. The zoo was open this time, but he was captured less than an hour later on a public path. He's just like, nice, I'm free.
He went for a walk. He was taking a stroll.
Ben now lives in a non-public area of the St. Louis Zoo where he can move indoors and out and even splash in a pool while he awaits his move. "He's so fun. He's so playful. We'd love to be able to keep him here," said Regina Mazzotti, the zoo's vice president of animal care. And that's it.
I was about to say, and we'd love to, but no, I guess they're just doing it.
But he keeps breaking out. They
yeah.
don't know how to deal with it.
I mean, how do you deal with a bear like him? Look at him. Look in his eyes, dude.
That's what I'm
Look
saying.
in his
They gotta
eyes.
build a moat.
That bear's like, you can't contain me.
At least now, I mean, they're going to a place with other Andean bears. Maybe he just wants friends.
I swear to God, he's got a human face. I'm looking at this bear. The more I look at his face, the more I'm like, this guy's thinking about escaping. He's like, you can't control me.
He does look like he can't be controlled.
Yeah, I love this guy.
Very much.
Big fan.
And that's your big news story of the day.
All right. Well, that's it for us. Thanks so much for listening or watching. I've enjoyed this podcast. Crendor, hit him with the socials.
We've got socials, youtube.com/Cox and Crendor podcast. That's where you can find all the episodes of these podcasts and when they get uploaded. So hit the bell to be notified when we upload, and you can subscribe, you can like it, you can share it, you can do whatever. You can also go to youtube.com/Cox and Crendor. That's where all the animations are. There was a new one uploaded like 2 weeks ago, so if you haven't seen that, you should go watch it. It's pretty funny, haha. Also, you can go to our websites. We got youtube.com/Jesse Cox, youtube.com/Crendor, Twitch TV Jesse Cox, Twitch TV Crendor, Patreon Jesse Cox, Patreon Crendor, Instagram Notorious Cox, Instagram Crendor is taken, TikTok Jesse Cox, TikTok Crendor, Facebook Jesse Cox, Facebook Crendor, Twitter Jesse Cox, Twitter Crendor, YouTube Cox Clips, YouTube Cren Clips, YouTube Warhammer Crendor.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is it. Thanks so much. We'll see y'all next time. And as always, no big continue.